Peace, everybody out there in the communication world. My name is Diamond Whitney, and I'd like to thank all of you for listening right now. Who logged in to check out my speech. Um, Basically, like I said, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and looking at my speech. And the thing I want to talk about right now is hip hop. Me, I'm a big fan of hip hop. I love hip hop music, and I love other music as well, as far as like reggae and R&B, some pop. But hip hop is what really influenced me to go out there and buy a CD, buy tapes. It wasn't no CDs back then. Back in the '80s, when I started listening to hip hop, we had tapes and things of that nature. When I started listening to hip hop, it was the golden era back in the early '80s. We have in this day and time now we have the golden era, the hardcore era, and the platinum era. And there's another era out there in hip hop that's happening right now. I don't even know what they call it, but the golden era is where I come from. At that particular time, you had artists like Eric B. and Rakim. You had your KRS Ones. You had your wow, you had a lot of artists. You had Slick Ricks. It was a good number of artists out there in the hip hop world. Um, Hip hop was more back then. It was more underground. It's not like now where you have individuals making millions and millions and millions of dollars off of hip hop. Back then, it was a smaller market. It was more closed. That's why we call it underground. Now it's global. Hip hop is all over the place. You could go to other countries, and you could see see the culture of hip hop, experience the culture of hip hop. The hardcore era, you have artists like Redman, Onyx. You have your individuals. There's so many individuals out there in the hardcore era. You have the DOS effects, and at that particular time, that was a time where it was more of a wild era. You know what I'm saying? Where it wasn't you know a lot. It was some of it was negative and some of it was positive. It's just a whole lot of energy projected in the hardcore hip hop. Can't forget the Wu-Tang Clan too. Wu-Tang Clan was a part of that cipher as far as hardcore hip hop. The platinum era, you had your Biggie Smalls, you had your let me see your Little Kims and so many groups. I can't really name them. There's so many of them right now. But I'm pretty sure you guys are looking at this video and you're like, oh, don't forget these people. Don't forget. Well, that's all I can name right now. Being that I'm doing this video and I'm short on time. In this day and time, hip hop is grown so much. It's more of a pop culture nowadays than it was back then. Pop has transitioned into hip hop, and the thing I miss about hip hop is the positivity that was once brought into the music. It talked about culture. It talked about knowledge of self. It talked about everything that help better a group of people. Nowadays, it's more about the materialistic things. Where you're talking about money and sex, drugs, murder. That's what you're getting in the hip hop culture nowadays. I'm not pointing at a specific group of people, but when you turn on the radio, that's all you hear. You know what I'm saying? It's an egotistic thing where it's all basically talking about materialistic things as far as money and things of that nature. Moving on. If I have anything to change about hip hop, you know what I'm saying? I would like for it to get back to a point where we start teaching, not just everybody that listening to it, but the babies, so the children out there, it would be nice if hip hop got back to a state where start teaching positive things, for the kids who's listening to the music. I know some parents, they took their kids They don't even let the kids listen to hip hop that's on the radio these days and time because of the message that's preaching. I'll just say change the message up a little bit. And start dealing with reality in a sense where we're teaching positive things to our children. And with that, my name is Whitney. I'd like to thank all of you for listening, and I say peace.